Righty, numbers 3. Let's look at your cards for September before it gets too dark. Righty, we have the Heron, King of Vessels, Celebration, 4 of Bows. And then I'll put them underneath, hang about so you can actually see them. And then we have the Empress card, the Green Woman, and 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Stones, Home. So I feel for you, in September, you're actually going to get to a really good place. You maybe have gone through quite some changes already. I don't know. I feel like most of you have. And that's in September, you're going to get to a much better place. This is stability, emotional stability, able to support yourself and receive support from others. You're very stable emotionally. Things are going to quiet down. There's going to be a lot of good feeling, socializing. If it's about relationship that you asked or curious about, this is also very positive because it's about balance, harmony, creativity. It can even be a commitment or marriage card in that sense. But it's fun, it's good, it's a very happy, positive vibe. You can see that as well, right, with this card. It's partying, it's having fun. It doesn't mean to say literally going partying, but that vibe, feeling really good again, I feel a sense of relief. That's why I think that you have gone through something that was quite substantial. Maybe with the shifts that we had in July and August, maybe those were really quite hard. And you went through quite some process, transformation, or maybe you had been dealing still with the after effects of a breakup or losing a job or whatever it is. I feel relief with this, and good times are coming in for you. That's what I feel. Much more peace and quiet and just enjoying life much more again. Far more, yes, stability, enjoying life. Also with the Green Woman, because of all this, you now get to a really good place where things can grow again. The Empress is pregnant, right? And, well, you can see that here a little bit as well with the Green Woman. It's about fertility. It's about growth, expansion. I mean, look at that light that is glowing around her. It's coming from the inside out, the light, meaning you really feel good on the inside and that is radiating out. And this is a place from where you can now begin to create and manifest and, do things. And it's really feeling good as well. It's also quite healing still, because I always feel that this, I believe it's milk, supposed to be milk or whatever, in that cauldron is really very healing, soothing, calming. Very, very positive cards. Also, when you're a man and you're watching this, it doesn't matter, right? It's the same energies and a sense of completion, of coming home. And I think mostly within yourself, or it can also be the place where you are so like with your relationship, feeling home in your relationship, or feeling home in your work, feeling home in your life in general. Right, it can also be just in one aspect as well, but I do feel it's more than just one aspect. This is more, I feel. It's more. It's more like in general with your entire life, more coming home. Unless you were going through a problem concerning one aspect in your life, then you're going to come home concerning that. But for most of you, I feel this is about the general thing going on in your life. It's really a homecoming. And I always feel like it's almost like an initiation because of this arch around, to get to that home, you have to walk through here. And it always feels like as soon as you step through there, you're going to leave all the shit and whatever is still maybe with you, you're going to leave that behind. It's just going to be over, dealt with, done, and you can really come home. It's really great. So that's absolutely wonderful. You're going to have a very good month. Could be that if you're still going through quite some transformation or whatever, dealing with things, that it will take, for instance, like a week in September before it actually you begin to see this develop. Right? It's not like the 1st of September, we flick a switch and then all of a sudden things change. Usually there's a build-up, and it could also be that the build-up begins in September, right? So if on the 1st or 2nd, 3rd of September you still don't see this happening, then don't think like, oh, that's completely wrong. Could be you could have chosen the wrong set, I don't know. But it is possible that it takes a little bit of time, even in September, for this to become to show up, so to speak. Then what is it that you still have to deal with? Fears, problems, whatever. I actually felt it wasn't necessary for this set, because this is all so wonderful and great, but I did anyway, and then it got difficult right away as well for a bit. It's like, what, you know? Oh, sorry, you have to put them a bit lower. Maman Brigitte is a redemption, and then we have Lilith, equality, as more. This is kind of a clarification of that one, more insight. Maman Brigitte is basically, it's a very fiery energy, very, very fiery, and it speaks a lot about that you have hurt people, and that you now have to take responsibility for that, etc., etc. And I feel, well, I'm not certain how that ties into the tarot cards we just had, but then, yeah, cards usually don't lie, right? So I'm going to stick with it, and maybe in the process of getting here, you did step on other people's toes, or maybe you did hurt some people or neglected people, whatever. Then maybe because you now are going to be in such a good place, and that feels really strong in that way. You are going to be in a very good place. That also then creates space to look back and take responsibility for things that maybe you have done that weren't also nice, and if need be, or that were done to you, which is also possible, and then to forgive. Right? It's kind of like taking responsibility for something, and forgive. Forgive the other person. If people have been treating you bad on your way to getting to that good place, then forgive them. And because otherwise this is going to obstruct this process. Even though it's so good and wonderful, then it's still going to linger. Because this is a very strong, powerful energy. It's very, very strong and very fiery, so then it will remain stuck in your craw, and it will begin to fester at some point. So if there is something that you have done along the way that hurts other people, upsets other people, then say sorry or whatever, take responsibility for it. If you were hurt by other people, which of course is also possible, and maybe both even, right, then forgive them. And also forgive yourself, because often we also have to forgive ourselves. When we actually have to forgive someone else, we also have to forgive ourselves. We often beat ourselves up over things that we allowed stuff to happen or whatever. And equality is about true equality between, this is basically between man and woman, right? Equality between man and woman. And I feel that if you want to be in this good place, you must deal with hurts that maybe are still stuck in your energy, in your system, that you have maybe limiting beliefs in the back of your mind still concerning if you're a woman, man, and if you're a man, concerning women, based on what someone else did to you, an ex-partner, for instance. Right? And that's what this has got to do with. You have to let that go. You have to forgive and forget, so to speak. Forgive yourself, but also forgive the other person. If you've been treating someone wrongly, then you have to also set that right, take responsibility for that. But you cannot at some point have another relationship or have if you are in a relationship, have that go smoothly if you still have these limiting beliefs and thoughts and maybe anger even, based on hurt. Maybe still anger. All men are like this, or all women always blah blah, all that blah blah. You can't have an equal, healthy, interdependent relationship if that is still in your system. So you have to do this to get to that, right? Righty. How can you make that easier? Help that along. Then we have the divine director. Is again intervention and intervention purpose. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose. So it's something you really have to focus on, I feel. on happiness. So not focus on anger or hurt or whatever, just focus on your happiness. And it's much easier, and it's going to be really much easier to deal with whatever that is. And yeah, it's about having a purpose in life. It gives you a sense of joy when that you are becoming aware of a sense of purpose in your life, and that gives you a sense of joy. It's something that brings you pleasure rather than something you have to work for. Yeah. And you have to know that the path you're on is right, and the universe is encouraging you to move forward. I do feel that likely that finding your purpose has to do with this, because this is also that happy vibe, that happy, wonderful vibe, coming home and celebrating stability and manifesting, having these ideas, expanding, growth, and so on. So I do feel that that has to do with that. So tap into that energy and the energy of those 4 tarot cards if you still indeed have to deal with that. Focus on this, on where you are, what you've gained, what you've learned, and on the happiness of the purpose that you want to have. And then it makes it much easier to, if need be, let go of old pains and maybe anger even, and if you are focused on that. Again, like I said, with another set as well, can't remember if it was a first or the second one, like when you think about what would love do, it becomes a lot easier, because love, if you indeed are still angry or hurt or whatever, if you are love wouldn't be angry and would deal with it differently, and it would be easier then to forgive as well. Right? So ask yourself that question: what would love do? What would I actually do if I was 100% total, utter, unconditional love in this situation? How would I act, behave? What would I say? What would I do? And then it becomes much easier to deal with that. So then we're going to look at your love cards for September. Then we have pay attention to the red flags, make the effort. I want to show you the cards. Romantic feelings, and give your relationship a chance. That ties into a number of other cards here, I believe. Anyhow, pay attention to red flags. I feel that is mostly... hang about, I have to get into it again. It is, in this case, paying attention to red flags. Because I do think you have been in a situation with a current partner or ex-partner where you ignored red flags. In this case, I do feel you have to pay attention to the red flags, but don't let these red flags or whatever happened to you in the past stop you from opening your heart again and from finding love again. Because you have to know you have to make an effort, and if you want this, you can't do that if you keep walls up. There's a wall in between the boy and the girl. From that position, you can't really make a good connection, a heart-to-heart connection. So it is good to pay attention to red flags so that you spot them. I mean, in a good way, right? So just in the way that you have learned from the past and that you now have healthy boundaries. But healthy boundaries doesn't mean staying behind masks and walls and stuff. That is not healthy boundaries. That is acting from fear and ego. So in that sense, you also have to pay attention to your own red flags, because we ourselves develop these things as well when we get hurt. Right, the knee-jerk reactions, you can see that as a red flag too. So pay attention to your own knee-jerk reactions when it comes to love and deal with that. So you have to make the effort and know that great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Right, I have to get out from behind that wall. If it is okay, right, you have to listen to your intuition, of course. There could be... the development or something, you could meet someone, maybe you already are in touch with someone. I feel many of you are already seeing someone. Yeah. I get that feeling that many of you who chose this are in fact either involved or seeing someone on a more regular basis. give it a chance. Give your relationship a chance. Again, that for me goes right back to the first card. The pay attention to the red flags. Don't and this one. Don't have knee-jerk reactions. Don't let your own knee-jerk reactions, your own stuff from the past, ruin something that is good or could be good. You know, you have to explore with an open heart if something is actually good or not. If you close up and hide behind a wall and have knee-jerk reactions, and it's not, that's going to be very difficult. Then you might actually dump someone whom you shouldn't dump. That's why you get the message, give your relationship a chance. It doesn't mean to say like, okay, this is the great, wonderful relationship, you have to go on with it. I'm not saying that, okay? I am not saying that. I am saying you have to look through clear filters and not through these filters from the past. But that ties right back into this Maman Brigitte redemption card. And the equality as well, that you have to let go. Yeah, basically this is about having to clear your filters from anger, hurt, and I think for most of you a lot of anger, because this is fiery. This is a very, very fiery energy, and it is really, really strong. Maman Brigitte is very strong, and hurt is different. Hurt would be different. It's a different energy. It's not fiery. Unless it turns into anger, right? Then it gets fiery. So I feel for you, this is mostly to do with anger. And if you look through filters of anger and have knee-jerk reactions because of that, then you might actually dump someone who might be a good match. You can only find out if someone is a good match or not if you have clear filters. So clear out your freaking filters. Sorry to put it that way. I don't know why I said it that way so strongly, but I suddenly feel it so strong. Like, for God's sake, you know, let go of you can't have equality, an equal relationship, an interdependent relationship if you are still having knee-jerk reactions based on the past. So this is double, right? You have to pay attention to actual real flags concerning the other person, but also your own knee-jerk reactions. So this is for September, all right? So I hope it resonates. If you recognize any of this, please let me know. I'm always very curious to read if it makes sense to you, you know, and if it's helpful for you as well. And with this, especially because of the what I said about the knee-jerk reactions and the anger and whatever this, I would really love to know if that resonates with you. So thank you for watching. I'm wishing you a wonderful weekend. I'm very soon going to try another live reading. Hopefully it's going to work out on my new phone. And well, I'll find out. Thank you for watching. And see you again really soon. Bye.